Hello my friends, welcome back to another tournament report. My last tournament report was only a week, 2 weeks ago. It was my least popular video ever. I don't know what I did. I'm so sorry if it was terrible. I don't know. Maybe I just don't publicise them enough. Who knows? We're back again. So, this time we are at Northern King Con. So Northern King Con was a multi-games tournament up in Yorkshire. Northern Kings put on a fantastic event. They always provide food, the facility is great, the terrain is amazing. This time, everyone agreed that this event was absolutely cursed. It was a cursed event. They had, I think, 16 dropouts in total from across the game systems. Really, really surprising. They had the originally plans to do everything, Dead Zone, Warpath, Firefight, War, singles and doubles, Dreadball, so on and so forth. So, in the end, they went. Did have a Dead Zone event. They had a Firefight. I don't know if it's Warpath or Firefight. It's one with vehicles. But I don't play it. I don't know. Saturday was a singles event, which is what this tournament report is about. There was doubles on Sunday, which I did play, but I didn't take pictures because I couldn't be bothered. And also, it's not all, I guess, me. I can't really speak to whatever my partner was doing, but he was definitely doing better things than me because I was terrible and we lost a lot. So this was day one, which is the singles, and I was playing my Night Stalkers at 2,300 points for 3 games. And not to spoil anything, but the final game of this tournament is against best player in the world, Tom Robinson. So that's exciting. Anyway, so with all the dropouts, we ended up with 12 players, which is a thing. It's a small tournament, but still very, very enjoyable. So this is my list. So if you caught my last tournament report, the 3 of you that did, you will know that I have been experimenting with Night Stalkers and trying to make them better. I had too many Soul Flayers in my last list, really. So we have toned that back a bit, and I painted some more stuff in time for this event, particularly Phantoms and Reapers. So we've still got a regiment and 2 hordes of Scarecrows in a core, because I painted them all and I'm going to use them. A horde of Bloodworms, because I painted them and I'm going to use them. And I gave them boots of striding to make sure they can get in. Always on 4s. We have 2 troops of Reapers. These are new. And they're pretty good, pretty punchy. 15 attacks there on 3s. I like them. Someone did point out to me after I was at the tournament, why on earth didn't I take Tormentors? They are palpably better in every way, except for having 12 attacks. And I looked at it and realised that they were right. So the next version of this list will have Tormentors instead of Reapers. There you go. 2 troops of Phantoms, which are just fantastic. Pop fact, I didn't realise they had 12 attacks until after this tournament ended, so the entire time I was sending them in like they were gargoyles with 10 attacks. This becomes relevant later. I did keep 1 regiment of Soul Flayers because I like Wind Blast, and also I painted them. And then I have my duo of Mind Screeches, one of which is the singing shooty one, and one of which is the Healy Planar Apparition, which has Radiance of Life, as I discovered after game 1. There you go. Yeah. And then 2 terrors, because I think terrors are hilarious, and I wanted to keep them in. Double horrors. I really like this mix of spells I've got. So one of them has got Barkskin and Host Shadow Beast. So the knowledgeable upgrade ups the spell level to be able to take Barkskin. Barkskin, Host Shadow Beast. And the other one has Bane Chant and Alchemist's Curse. And because Bane Chant is 2 dice, he's got Conjurer's Staff. And you see in my list, these are both Ronnie the Bards, which I think is fun. And then last but not least, I've got Esanishra, or Shakira, as she's known, the Wailing Shadow, who is a fabulous character, who is obviously the target for that Host Shadow Beast. Turns her into an absolute beat stick, so Crush 3 and Dread is very useful, Speed 10 is very useful, and her Beguilement is sporadically useful, but also just fun to pull people into combat. So Beguilement is, Enthrall, the spell, which is the opposite of Wind Blast. It pulls the enemy towards her, and if they make contact with her, then they are automatically in combat, which is really cool. That's my list. So game 1 was a challenge, a repeat challenge from previously against Sharad. Fans of the channel, I don't know who that is, but may remember I played Sharad's Elves before, and this list is very similar. So here we are. We have... Sharad likes very, very elite elves because he doesn't want to paint any more models because he's lazy. So only 11 units, and they are all very punchy. So he's got a horde of tall spears with hammer of measured force. Jury's out on that one for me. I just got to put Scarecrows into them. 3 regiments of Glade Stalkers, one of which has Chant of Hate. It's quite funny. He actually turned up with a pre-Clash of Kings list and realised that he had loads more points in the new Clash of Kings, and Madrigal was like much better. And he was like, oh, this is interesting. So he added Chant of Hate to these Glade Stalkers. Stormwind Cavalry. The Quicksilver Lancers down here with Brew of Strength. So very, very, very punchy now. Very nimble, punchy. 2 Draken Rider Hordes, one with Brew of Haste, one with Wine of Elvenkind. So these guys charge 22, and these guys are nimble, which is disgusting. Double Bolt Thrower, that's different from his list from last time. I like Bolt Throwers. I think they're fun. I think 2 attacks is a little bit low. Piercing 2 is good. Elite is very good, which makes up for the 2 attacks. So there you go. Unfortunately, Northern Alliance ones are just better because they also give you Frozen. But there you go. That's Northern Alliance for you. Yeah, they're broken. Madrigal, the elf, who has 2 types of attacks. He's got a normal attack, which is his bow with piercing 2 with 4 attacks, and a trick shot, which is blast d6, which no one will ever use because it's just not as good as his normal bow. And then, why not a dragon with Brew of Sharpness? That's a 340-point dragon who hits on 2s and wounds on 2s, and he has elite. Gross. So that's Sharad's very, very scary list. Let's have a look at our battlefield. So here we are. This is quite a well-known battlefield, I feel. It's certainly one of the more distinctive Northern Kings battlefields. I really like it. I think it's really fun. I think it's really well made, very distinctive, quite symmetrical. So off we go, and we are playing. What are we playing? Invade. We are playing Invade for game 1, and we set up like this. So I push. So with such a punchy fast list as Sharad's, I think you really need to kind of form a wall, like a deny flank. Give him minimal flanks to go around. Okay, so we can see down here I've got Esenishra, because she's flyer defense down here, but he'd started deploying his Glade Stalkers over here, and I was kind of like, cool, I'm gonna hide, and I did. So I hid everything. I started deploying in the middle, and he started deploying here, and I just deployed out to the left progressively as he put his units down. So he put most of his units down before I did. Before I'd finished, so I could put the rest of my stuff over here. So got my worms and some scarecrows. So I want him to start shooting at these guys because they don't really care. And then behind them, I've got kind of everything else. So I've got Esenishra hiding behind with his Hoshidabi Sky. There's the shooty Mind Screech, who could easily be taken off by some Glade Stalkers, who's hiding, even with stealthy. These are Soul Flayers. This one is the Planar Apparition. There's Terra. The other Terra is over there. Then we have both our Phantoms ready to kind of jump over and offer a barrier. And then we've got our punchy Reapers here. I'm hiding to try and not to be shot. So hiding behind some height 4 stuff here, which is good. And over there we've got the rest. We've got double Scarecrow Horde and Regiment, along with the Barkskin guy. So he's put his bolt throws in his corner because they get a great line of sight across everything. Apart from this bloody hill here. Oh yeah, that's better than the forest here. So I said, all right, I'm just going to walk them down. As he started deploying kind of in the center, I thought I'm just going to send so many Scarecrows. These Quicksilver Lancers will be needed elsewhere. This little fella's Madrigal. I'm going to just walk him down. He can shoot the Horde, and if he kills the Horde, the Regiment will get him. So I quite like the idea every turn of these poor bolt throwers going, reload! They're still coming! As they fire bolts into this horde of Scarecrows. Rawr, shambling towards them. Not shambling, obviously. Not zombies. Right, so he's got his double Dragon Rider Hordes. I think this one might be the fast one. I can't remember. Those are the tall spears. There's his dragon. You know it's version 1 dragons there. And version 1 Dragon Riders. Buy some new models. And there's some Glade Stalkers. Right, that's the list. Let's go into the game. So he scouts up like yay. So he's just pushing around. So he's got some nice shots. I'm not particularly worried because he's going to be shooting stealthy stuff. I'm only worried if he starts shooting the Mind Screech, basically. Anything else, crack on. Because what I want him to do is break his very few units on my chaff, and then I'm going to eat him. That's the plan. And I get turn 1, which is lovely. So we just push forward as yay, which allows me to nicely hide the Mind Screech from all these Glade Stalkers. They can still come around, but I'm not that bothered. I also hide Esenishra behind these Soul Flares. I know she's a stealthy individual. I've just had bad experiences with stealthy individuals being shot off in turn 1 by archers. I don't like it, so I hid. I guess I'm going to move this. I feel the feeling is, as he comes forward, turn 2, I'm going to move the worms, I'm going to move the soul flares, and then she'll have line of sight, right? She can also still defending that here. So there we go. Oh, we also see. So I also popped off a 5-point bark skin, the rarest of bark skins. So from this guy, he bark skinned. I thought that was the bark skin guy. Maybe not. He's obviously the Bane. Why is he on the wrong side? Well, because I'm an idiot. Okay, well, maybe that's 12 inches, but then I can't see. So this must be the Barkskin guy. Barkskin and Host Shadow Beast? Yeah. Yeah, so that's right, Barkskin and Host Shadow Beast. And he's Bane Chant and Alchemist Curse. Yeah, I'm not crazy, it's fine. So he popped off all 5 dice on Barkskin on these worms, which is fantastic. And then Sharad, who he's a hot-headed young man. He's not young, but he's really fun to play against. But he's also slightly crazy, and he just saw a charge, and he's like, I'm taking it. And he sent his Dracons right in the middle into my Scarecrows. I think that's insane. Because no matter what you do, those Dracons are going to get... He's used Dracons, a horde of Dracon, that's nearly 300 points, as chaff against Scarecrows. And I'm just going to eat him. So, good. See here, the... Quicksilver Lancers are out of charge range of my my Terror. I don't really mind that because I'm going to move up and turn so he can't charge me in the flank. Anyway, so that's what he did. Who did, and then the Bolt Throwers did, along with Madriga, started to try and shoot off my Scarecrows. Don't really mind that. And there you go, 13 points of damage, which is a lot. Definitely, you know, he could get him off there. A dash 22. He didn't roll the requisite, I think 9 or 11 twice. Oh, once even. Because I'm out of inspiring range. He could have got him. Even if he did get them, he's going to get eaten. So, turn 2. So, did the archers not shoot anything? Oh, they shot off the Barkskin tokens. Look at that. How sad. Yeah, all the Barkskin tokens are gone. Ooh. Anyway. Turn 2 looks like this. It's the beginning of turn 2. He's forming a nice curve around here. And I plod onwards. So we just push forwards very, very sedately. We take the flank he's offered me here. It is going to be, there's no stride or anything. I put the phantoms in front of these horses. So rather than put the Terror here to be immune from attacks from these side, I just put him straight into the flank and put these phantoms to be eaten by some horses for a turn. You know, why not? You can eat my phantoms and then I will eat you back with something else. In fact, the horrors, hopefully the Terror. Big push forward with Scarecrows. We're ignoring Madriga, who's behind this pillar, because we don't care. We send some Soul Flares. So the Soul Flares, don't forget, we're behind here, and I wanted to protect Esenishra. Where is Esenishra? Oh, she's over there, by the way. So I shoved Soul Flares into these Glade Stalkers so they couldn't shoot me anymore, and offer a tempting target for his Dracons to charge while my worms kind of slither onwards, supported by this Terror. Starts from shooting down here. Esenishra has flown behind this pillar over here, so she's gone from down here all the way over here. And then I'm going to be healing with my planar apparition onto these Scarecrows. Off we go. So there you go. So I bark skin onto them. That's where Esenishra landed. Shakira right in center. His dragon, you know, line of sight's down there, so she's pretty safe right now. He can turn and shoot me. There's some 3 damage that the Mind Screech did last turn. Not bad. Basking there, and off we go. That's just showing you heal. So I healed 7 sides. In fact, heal and they're dead Dracons too. We had 13 wounds down to 9. So that's not bad, is it? 4 off of 7. It's pretty good. And we killed the Dracons, which is lovely. And that's one of his most punchy pieces already gone, so I'm pretty pleased. On to Sharad's go. So he chose not to charge with these Dracons. Instead, he kind of held them back and went with Glade Stalkers instead, which is fine because actually we're going to die, aren't we? It seems sensible. Where's the Dracons? Oh, he's backed up with the Dracons, right? So he's not taken the bait. He's backed up with the Dracons. He has taken the bait over here, which is fine, and he's moved his dragon into support. So I think maybe the dragon charged as well, but just kind of to put it in the right position to offer threat because you know it's going to convert. It's going to be 10 wounds automatic on the front. 20 wounds or close to pretty automatic in the flank. So, or yeah, let's say 17 to 20 wounds is pretty punchy. And he's got his horde right here, just kind of on the hill so they can see over, ready to charge off because my charge range on these worms is 10. Okay, and the Glaze-Stalkers turn around to shoot stuff. There we go, a couple more dice there, so a couple more wounds. So Madrigal's just popped around here. I'm ignoring Madrigal, I don't care. 4 attacks, who cares? That's my that's my philosophy. Got to take care of everything else before I take care of them. So a couple more wounds onto these Scarecrows. They're not really bothered, they've got 22. Obviously, Phantoms murdered by Horsemen. And Soul Flayers murdered. So he's just, merrily murdering my chaff, which is fine. On to turn 3. This is how we look. So currently, he's stepping backwards, as elves do, cowards. But I am happily shoving forwards, because don't forget, invade, I need to be in his half. So the horses will probably die, depending on whether I roll a wild charge on this horde to allow them to get in with the terror. Or both terrors, in fact. I don't think I do. Let's have a look. I don't get the wild charge. So I don't get the wild charge off to get the Scarecrows in. So instead I send both terrors into these horses, because that's 40 attacks and they're going to die. And then these tall spears are going to be ensnared, so hitting on 5. So that's jolly nice for me. Both terrors come in. I move up, keeping my Reapers kind of handily out of charge range and relatively out of shooting range. So what I do is the worms go from here. So he's finished off here, but he's missed that I'm within charge range, I think. Or he couldn't get out, I think. It would have been wise to back up rather than turn, but maybe he couldn't because Esenisha was there. Let's have a look. Yeah. He could have backed up quite easily. Yeah, he could have backed up. Maybe it wouldn't have. I think he might have needed a 3 or something, so he turned instead and decided to just take the charge. So the worms went in there. The phantoms just hit the dragon, so I just prayed that I did a point of damage. So from here, hitting a dragon just within 20. These guys are free to do whatever they want. I've got some nice... That's going to be... Yeah, I messed up. I'm not within Host Shadowbeast range, which made me really sad. So I think I bark skin something, probably these guys. And Esenisha took these guys on the hill. These guys on the hill are the biggest problem because they can see everything. So Esenisha is going to see what she can do. They're already wounded from Mind Screech shots. So let's see where we can go. Healing these guys, and off we go. So, Bane Chant there. Lovely, thank you. Onto Terror. The worms sadly failed to convert, so only 7 wounds onto those guys. They're not dead. But we did manage to... Only 1 bark skin this time, which is probably what I deserve. But the Phantom did manage to do some wounds to the dragon, so he's stuck for a turn, which is lovely. Oh, that's a nice action shot, isn't it? I like that. So these Scarecrows now healed down to 4 wounds, so they're doing very well. Everything else is looking good. So this is Sharad's turn. So he's taken the Tall Spears into one of the Terrors because he doesn't really have a lot of choice elsewhere. And decided the Dragon and Dracons will just wipe out these Phantoms ready to come in next turn. Both Glaze-Stalkers. Oh, was that both? Yeah, both of the Glaze-Stalkers here have gone into the worms to try and take care of them. These bolt throwers, they're still coming! It's pretty funny. That's Madrigal, who's just like shooting stuff. Oh, what did she shoot? Oh, she shot. That's a good mark. That's a good shout. So she popped out here. I was ignoring her. I forgot that I had Reapers. And I couldn't get out of her range anyway, even with Stealthy. All 4 shots converted into wounds on them and took them off in a single turn. So that's unfortunate. There's 10 wounds from that pair of Glaze-Stalkers. That's rubbish, isn't it? That is sad. Glaze-Stalkers should be better than that. Wow, 24 attacks. Did they hit on 3s or 4s, these elven ones? I can't remember. All the same, not great. Not great dice there. And only 3 wounds from these tall spears, which is very sad from those terrors. They're going to eat them alive. The Phantoms, though, did their job and died. There we go. It's turn 4, so the battlefield looks like this. Oh, that's right. So Esenisha last turn wavered these Glaze-Stalkers. So I think from 3 up to 7 would be 4. I'm good at maths. So 5 of her attacks turned into wounds. So that's pretty good. And I managed to waver them, so that's fantastic for them. Yep, so we're looking okay still. This is a little bit of a problem. Not quite sure how we're going to manage to sort out those Dracons and that dragon. Let's see what I do. Because I can't remember. So the Scarecrows, that's right. So we use the Scarecrows to shield. Because the biggest threat is against my Terrors because they're fantastic. So they are actually in, but I couldn't fit them next to my stupid model. So everyone goes in these tall spears. It's an absolute metric ton of attacks. I think we're going to be fine. The Reapers who are here. Have I cheated? Oh, I think I've cheated. Look at that. Got no line of sight. Sharad, I would like to formally apologise. Basically, I've charged the Reapers into these Glade Stalkers. No, I haven't. I haven't cheated. It's okay. It's all right, everyone. I'm not a cheat. Phew. Wipe sweat from brow. So this is not a horde. Obviously, this is 2 regiments. So the worms countercharge this regiment of Glade Stalkers, right? Which moves them down, which means the Reapers can then see this regiment of Glade Stalkers. And in I go. Everything's fine. They're going to get eaten by dragon, but whatever. This is a forest, by the way, this thing with steam on. So the planar apparition is simply hiding behind the forest, healing stuff. That's what he does, and we're here Bane chanting. So that's what we do. Essinisha goes back into these guys to finish them off. I've got my Mind Screech here. Be charged quite easily by a dragon. Oh, I think the plan, right, yes. Look at my plan. Wow, look at this, I'm planning. So the plan is I'm going to kill these Glade Stalkers, and then the worms are going to turn, like yay, therefore shielding these guys from attack from all this flying stuff, right? That's the idea. And we made it. So we rolled the wild charge. 1 bolt through our crew got eaten. 7 wounds the whole time. These ones are like, well, you don't need us, I guess, so we're going to go off here. Other bolt crow crew frantically reloading and probably crying into their elven pastries. Like that. And then I double won them. Oh, drama. So I double won the horde. Look how many wounds. 24 wounds, which is devastated. And I double won them. But the terrors can't be attacked because their base is smaller than that of the scarecrows. So mission kind of accomplished. And we ate both Glade Stalkers. We turned as planned. The Reapers can get eaten and the worms can come and eat things. So at the moment we're still feeling good. And Essinisha also finished off the other Glade. So all 3 Glade Stalkers gone in a single turn. That is not a great turn for poor Sharad. So on we go. So the Drakons decided to take on the worms. I think I could have turned them a little less and forced them to be hindered, and I didn't. So boo to me. So Drakons come into the worms. He ignores my Reapers, and instead the dragon comes into the flank of these scarecrows to try and kill them in one. And it does. So there's no, what he said was, which is quite right, the tall spears have no chance of killing those terrors at all. So he just decided to kill this unit strength of the horde instead, which I think is the right move. Plus it places him in a good position now where I'm going to have to spend one of those terrors against his tall spears, and I can't do anything about it. The other one is kind of stuck, and the dragon is now looking down the flank of everything, so pretty good. Yep, and the worms died to those Drakons, so those unwounded Drakons are now sitting merrily, and all that can hit them is Essinisha. So yep, in turn 5, this is what we look like. I think I'm still alright, because I have just a ton of unit strength up here, so that's 3, 4, 5 unit strength probably. Plus 1 of these terrors, which are now worth 2, so that's 7 unit strength, and he's going to have 3, 4, and they're going to die, so he's going to have 4. So at this point, the game is decided, we're just kind of playing for fun. Cracking to get to zone 5, so I move my stuff way out of line of sight. Now, why have I put Essinisha here? I think for dread. I think what I decided, I counted the unit strength and thought, yeah, do you know what, I just won't fight you. There's only 2 turns. So everything is out. There's the line of sight marker for the Drakons. There's the line of sight marker for the dragon. We just kind of all booked it. These guys went here. These guys went here. And she flew here. Just to go in. Go on then. You can have some points. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And we murdered the tall spears here. With dread helped, but it was a rear charge from Reapers. It's just stupid. And the other bolt thrower, ate it. There's Madriga kind of sitting going, oh, where's everyone gone? And so yeah, so Sharad Wiley went for the points, so everything just flew off. He spent some time trying to work out what to do with the dragon. He could have used his breath weapon to try and kill something, but in the end he decided he'd rather keep the points. Dragon went over here, Drakons went over here. Just kind of, oh, and then Madriga tried to shoot off this horde. Up to 11 wins now. It's not infeasible on turn 6. So they just went off. There's nothing else I could do, so everything just moved into his side. I think I made a valiant attempt to shoot things. And look at that, Madriga did it. He did it. She did it. He, she, it. I don't know. Managed to finally get off that horde of scarecrows, but at this point it's immaterial because I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unit strength. And the Mind Screech. So 8. 8 unit strength to 4. Yeah, and a pretty good victory. Great fun to play against Sharad. He is very noisy, but really fun. So let's move on to game 2. Okay, into game 2 versus a newer player called Andrew, who was very, very nice. Not met him before, from up north, playing his Ogres. I realised in the last game I didn't tell you about the terrain. I just said it's nice. I didn't say any of the heights or anything like that. Maybe this is why no one listens to my reports anymore. So, not that I'm going on about it. So this was his Ogre list. It's 2 hordes of hunters, 2 hordes of siegebreakers, 1 with boots of striding and 1 with the pendant of retribution, making that, my friends, a 300-point horde. Whoa. Boomer chariots with the obligatory black powder guns and sacred horn to give that stealthy aura. Not much use against me, but there you go. It's good against some people. Big deal. Only comes in 1 flavour of mammoth, and it's the big deal. A crocodile wrangler, which I love seeing. Don't see enough of them, frankly. Too many flipping warlocks and sergeants with crossbows. Probably because they're better. But anyway, the crocodile wrangler, which I love. A berserker bully. And then the hell on wheels formation for all that chariot goodness. So we have 2 regiments of warrior chariots who gain rampage, D3. And an ogre warlord, also on a chariot, who gains rallying for other chariots and rampage D3. Alrighty. So we have 2 hills, here they are. And we have 2 forests. This is a forest, this is a forest. We think this is rough terrain. We played it as rough terrain. There wasn't enough trees to fill it, so yeah, rough terrain. And then we have 1, 2, 3 big piles of rocks, which is very cool, and then some walls over here. So there you go. And that's his list. So here we are, set up as yay. So you notice I'm now on the other side of the board. Sorry about that. Didn't take a photograph from this side, but hopefully your minds can do the requisite twisting of the terrain around. So we are playing in this game. We are playing push, I want to say. Possibly. I think it is push. If it's not push, it's something else with a token in the centre. So I'm going to guess it's push, because look, there's a token in the centre there after I take my turn. I think, yeah, it's token. Yeah, push. It's push! Yeah, good. So here's set piece. The hunters are over here. And this is the big deal behind them. He's got his warlord on chariot here. And he's got the rest of his chariots here in the centre. So he's got his boomer chariots behind the chariots, offering stealthy aura. And then he put all his siege breakers with the berserker bully over on this side, which I was delighted about. Because they are terrifying. Completely terrifying. I have nothing in my army that can handle siege breakers whatsoever. Nothing. Just can't. Esenishra might be able to hold them up for a turn. So he spread out a little bit. And we talked about this after the game, and really putting these guys over here really limited him, I think, because they've got this narrow area to come through, and he's going to have to bring them all the way around. When really, I think siege breakers typically would form the centre of your line, and perhaps if you want to put something over there, then chariots would be a good idea. As it is, I've looked at this and gone, alright, I've put my worms and some scarecrows over here on this side of the board. I think a scarecrow regiment to carry tokens. And then everything else in the centre, so I've got my 2 terrors in the middle, flanked by hordes of scarecrows, and everything else nice and symmetrical. We've got Mind Screech here, Planar Oppression here. This is Eshanishra, and both of the horrors are here. So we've both got the Bark Skin and the Alchemist's Curse one. And then we have on this side, and because he's not really bought any shooting at all, in fact he has no shooting, I've put, all my kind of weaker stuff can just be happily at the front, so it offers some nice unhindered charges. So I've got my Phantoms, and Phantom starts as a blocker. Yeah, so that's how we've run. And then I won first turn, which is very good, and so I pushed forward very hard. think I've got a token on this unit here. Did I put a token? I think it's 1 token, or is it? Oh, I thought it was 2. It might be one on the. Might be one on the scarecrows as well. Yes, it is. I can see it there. One on the scarecrows, one on the worms, and I think he put one of his tokens on the siege breakers over there, and one of them on the boomer chariots at the back of his list. So that's what he's done. So I push forward, and I've offered him a nice unbroken line, and I'm just out of charge range, I believe, of the chariots. Yep, so there's not a lot he could do in this turn apart from just be threatening, so he's moved forward. Brought these guys far forward as they could. I'd have been tempted to push the bully forward faster, if I'm honest. Because this is the Crocodile Wrangler here, hiding behind these chariots. Lovely army, by the way, lovely. His first army, I think it's his first thing he's painted for sure, because it's very, very nicely painted. A beautiful all-mantic army, all individually based, very nice. So I've got Esanisha up on the hill here because she's offering lots of threat. And then it's turn 2. So I've been very, very aggressive with this. I've just like, all right, he's all melee. We're just gonna push. We're gonna push really, really hard. And so we come in like this. So you can see this 12-inch ruler here. This is from the Siege Breakers. So the Scarecrows are out of range of the Siege Breakers. These Phantoms that I've put into this right-hand regiment of chariots are not out of charge range, but they are out of line of sight, as is Esanisha, who's just pushed up for some dread support. And you can see I've measured the line of sight here from the other chariot, so she's out of line of sight. I have offered him a world of joy to charge. I didn't really think very clearly, and I've slightly mismeasured here, because I thought if I put my terrors like this, a chariot regiment's not going to be able to charge them. Of course, a chariot regiment is 150, and we are also 150. So in fact, he can exactly charge whatever the Sam hell he likes in the centre there. Whether he'll kill them or not with Ensnare is another question. I put my Mind Screech up on the hill here to offer some lightning bolts, and I'm going to lightning bolt this Crocodile. And then on the left-hand side here, I've put my Phantoms and Soul Flayers into both of these Hunters. I'm not expecting to kill anything. I'm expecting to hold them up for a turn. I've offered him these Reapers as a charge with his Chariot. Because even if he kills them, there's another Reaper there. That's going to come in and start, playing and having fun while the worms kind of wander around the corner. So yeah, that's that side. So showing that these worms are coming round, ready to kind of, once these guys have kind of faced off against each other and sorted each other out and probably killed me in one turn, then the worms are going to come in and have lots of jolly fun while these guys are wandering off with their token. So yeah, that's just my guys up on the hill doing some bark skinning. There you go, 3 bark skin tokens and a Bane chant onto them. How delightful. So that's fun. And there is a no Crocodile Wrangler because I had the luckiest turn of Lightning Bolt ever and took off his Crocodile Wrangler in one turn. Disgusting behaviour. Disgusting behaviour. There you go, 5 wounds from the Soul Flayers, which is pretty good, hitting on 4s. And then 2 wounds hitting on 5s from the Phantoms. 3 wounds from those Phantoms onto those Chariots, but they do lose their Thunderous Charge, which is good, and it leaves us like this. So into his turn. So the Siege Breakers are now starting to come into play, which is very worrying, but they are can't see over this hill, so that's good. It might have done better with this Siege Breaker horde being offered a line of sight down here. As it is here, he's left himself the hill, which isn't too great. He's taken the charge onto, I think, this right-hand terror, and countercharged here, and again on the left-hand side, he has again taken this charge, which is fine. Double countercharge here. We worked out because of where he placed the big deal, he couldn't get in because he's not nimble, and he hadn't quite left himself enough room to be able to multi-charge. The big deal was impotent for a turn, which I liked very much. And there you go. That's Ensnare, folks. Sometimes dice are not great. And Andrew said that slightly bitterly. He said, "That's what my dice are like." I think the Boomer Chariots, by the way, did some wounds to this this unit of Scarecrows. So yeah, terrible dice, awful dice. 1 wound on my terror, which he doesn't care about. 5 wounds. So these guys, without their Thunderous Charge, again failed to convert, and I've held them up for a turn. The Bully is now ready to come and play, but I've held up the Chariots for a turn, so that's kind of where I needed to be. And he wiped out my Phantoms with those Hunters, which is fair. Only 4 wounds. Again, the Warlord did not roll well, and he couldn't get the nerve roll he needed. So 4 wounds on them, so that's going to be delicious. And it's turn 3, so this is how we look on turn 3. So I have picked up the token with something. I think this Terror has picked up the token here, but we're now going to get 2 Terrors into this Chariot Regiment. This is just another hold-up job. Can't remember what I do with Esanisha, but maybe I come into their boomers to stop them shooting my stuff, because 6 wounds is a lot. Let's see what we do. Okay, so we carry on fighting this regiment here. So these Hunters again rolled very poorly. 5 wounds onto my Soul Flayers, and they're okay. So first of all, from here we sent this horde of Scarecrows into these Hunters to hold them off. That allowed me then to put both of my Reapers, one hindered, one unhindered. So these ones shifted down, to about there-ish, which these ones could then turn and come in. I managed to leave myself enough room, which is good. So 2 Reapers into the Chariot Warlord, which is good. He's separated off his Warlord from his Chariot, so his rally is doing nothing, which is unfortunate. And then we took 1 Scarecrow Horde and both of our Terrors into this Chariot Regiment. We came here for some healing action here. And these guys just moved off the hill so that the Siege Breakers couldn't see them. Just offered some support to these units. So the Bane Chant onto that Terror. 3 more Bark Skins onto the Phantoms. They're being very smug. And that's a lightning bolt, I think, from the Mind Screech. Where's all my wounds gone? Did I heal you? Sure. Yes. No, I did. Look. So I moved this guy, my planar apparition, all the way over here. Surely, no. Is that 12 inches? Maybe the wound trade's just out of. I think it's just out of shot. I think it's just out of shot. So somehow they've gone from 5 to 4 wounds. How have they done that? Magic. Through magic, they have regained with the Hunter's regen? I don't think so. Whatever. Oh, I know why. Because orange dice. Right, yeah. Orange dice means 6 and then more. So this is actually 10 wounds. So they've gone from 5 to another 5 wounds. 10 and then they're wavered. Rah! Hooray for me. There you go. That's what it means. I've remembered things. 2 wounds from these noble scarecrows. They're going to die. And we did kill the Warlord, which is very, very delicious. Very, very delicious indeed. Yep, so we ran forward like this and turned the other guys. Even better, my Phantoms, just 5 wounds onto this Chariot Regiment, rolled like a boss, wavered him. Essenisha did 1 wound against the Boomer Chariots, because she was out of range for any Host Shadow Beast action, but that's enough to stop them shooting. And I think they're terrible in melee. And of course we murdered the other chariots with all this killing stuff. So we ran forward with this guy, this Terror, and turned these guys like this. So kind of shielding from the bully. He's going to come and bully me. And we're out of range with this one and these guys. So yeah, feeling good. So in goes the bully. Siege Breakers come up onto the hill to say, right, we're here now. Time to stop messing around, which is fair. Boomer Chariots going to Essenisha. And then finally the big deal could get in on the Horde because the Horde is much longer, so the big deal is going to come and murder Scarecrows. That's fun. I've wandered off with my tokens down here, and so feeling good about that. And yet the Phantoms, who did very well for 2 turns, are now dead. 4 wounds onto Eshenisha, but she's okay. And yeah, the big deal is really good against infantry. Really good, especially with Hunters. So those Scarecrows have cocked it. This is how we look at the beginning of turn 4. I'm fairly confident about my position because this token is in his half. This token is, okay, it's over here, but I've got 1 on the Terror down here and 2 over here. So at the moment, the game is looking pretty strong. So turn 4. So from here, so this Terror goes into the, so these, start again. These Scarecrows went up onto to play the Siege Breakers because I have such a long base width that basically I've held them both up. They're going to have to both attack me, which is what my chaff is for. That then allows me to come and put 1 Terror here, 1 Terror here, along with Essenisha. So hopefully those Boomer Chariots should explode. And I've got some heal going on for Essenisha there. Got some support from a Mind Screech over on these guys. Not going to do a lot, is it? But we're quite safe with my little characters. My support characters are becoming more and more important. More importantly, I finally get some Host Shadow Beast action on. I take 1 of my Reapers into the Hunters. The other Reaper goes into the big deal. This is not going to do anything particularly. But what I did see was that if you come back to this side here, because this Hunter troop, this Hunter Horde was wavering, I could fly again with my Soul Flayers. And although he did turn the big deal, he didn't turn him far enough. In fact, he was a choice of being flanked by Reapers or flanked by Soul Flayers, because Soul Flayers can fly over into flank there. So flanked by Soul Flayers is what he gets. And Reapers in the front. The Worms use their boots and come into these Hunters. We're hitting on 5, so I'm not very hopeful, but we're going to hold on for as long as we can. Big risk, really, because actually losing that token is critical to my game right now. So, yeah. What he actually does is rather than... oh, no! Yeah, okay, that's mean. That was mean. I felt mean at this point. So I didn't lightning bolt with the Mind Screech. What's the point? I wind blasted, and I really wind blasted. I wind blasted them 6 inches back right off the hill. Just my dice were on fire for this game. So yeah, Siegebreaker's off the hill. That puts him in a terrible place. Bane Chant and 1 Bark Skin onto this Terror. 2 wounds. Let's go Scarecrow. He's managed to roll 2 6s. That's exciting. And we killed the big deal with that flank on the front. That's pretty tasty. And is that it? Yeah, so and I killed these guys. So I managed to kill these hunters who were on 10 wounds. These guys went up to 8. That's what that means. So 8 wounds here, but they're okay. 10 wounds here, and they died. So that secured that side for me pretty much. Now this poor hunter horde is looking like, hello? Why am I... Hello, anyone? We also killed both of the chariots, so both the boomer chariots and the other chariot regiment. So there's just this poor little bully left who's got a giant bug facing him. Height 6, can't see anything past it. So that is showing that the Scarecrows died. So these guys are just facing 2 hordes of Siegebreakers, which are, of course, terrifying. So, and then so the hunters kind of just turn around because they couldn't see anything before, so they just turn around and kind of say, okay, you can hit us, but you're all hitting on, well, they're hitting on 4s, and these guys are hitting on 5s. But they're already on 8 wounds, so they are going to die. Turn 5. So what we do is the terror that was here comes into these Siegebreakers, and then, guys, let me describe for you the most epic thing I think I've ever done in Kings of War. Okay, so the Siegebreakers, they're a little bit late to the party. They're misdeployed over here, I get it. However, 2 hordes of Siegebreakers are terrifying. This horde of Siegebreakers has got the amulet, what's it called? Exploding amulet thing, right? That's pretty scary. Let me tell you what I did. I was so proud of this. I was a little bit smug about how cool it was, what I did. So we've got Terror here into this horde of Siegebreakers. Essenshire flies over and lands an inch away from them. Alright? Bear with me. Then this horror casts Alchemist's Curse onto the Siegebreakers. Right? Casts Alchemist's Curse and does 5 wounds. They only had 2 wounds, so it just does 4 wounds. Right? Then Essenshire enthralls them into her, and then the other horror casts Host Shadow Beast onto Essenshire. Right? And then she kills them with her Host Shadow Beast. They explode. They do 5 wounds to her, and they do 5 wounds. No, what's that? Jesus. 6 plus 5, 11 wounds. 11 wounds to their own unit. Oh, that's after I hit them as well. So it wasn't 11 wounds. It was obviously the same amount of damage, right? So then, obviously, okay. It's still epic. Sorry, it's still epic. So, cycle of events. Essenshire an inch away. Alchemist's Curse onto the Siegebreakers. Obviously 6 more dice because they're defense 6 at piercing 4. Incredible. Enthrall Siegebreakers into Essenshire. Host Shadow Beast onto Essenshire. Essenshire kills them. They then explode, doing damage to the Siegebreakers next to them. And then the Hot Terror does enough damage to waver the other Siegebreakers. Absolutely freaking epic. I was like, I say to God, like, I am so sorry, but this trio exists to do exactly this kind of nonsense to a defense 6 unit. So it was glorious to do it, even if it felt very mean. And they don't die. I couldn't get everything in, so these guys went in because everything's too big. If you look at the order of charging, right, it's going to be because you go from the center line across. So it's these guys, then these guys, then these guys. So the big horde of worms couldn't charge. The other 2 could. Anyway, we put them up. Did we kill them? No. We didn't kill them. In fact, did we do no wounds? That seems unlikely. Apparently we did no wounds. Sure, I guess ensnare is definitely a thing. Maybe I took the fire. So these guys are wavering. They can do anything. The bully countercharged into my terror and just I did some wounds to him. He didn't do anything to me really. Put him up to 6 wounds. 6 wounds is good from a bully ensnared. Well done you. You guys did nothing. Turn 6. I double one him. Did loads of wounds to him and then I double one him, which I think is really funny. And then we murdered the other siege breakers. Just absolute murder. So repeated the same trick again. Completely dead. Oh, that's me and Peter. That's Pete Thomas Swift. He's awesome. Yeah, so that was the end of the game. So, yeah, felt mean, but also very cool, if mean. Right, 2 victories. Let's get on to game 3. And so here we are in game 3. I've got 2 good wins. I'm on the top table. And who am I facing? It's the world's best player, Thomas Robinson. I hear the howls of outrage from people across the world who've beaten him. He's still the world's best player in my eyes. He is an exceptionally good player. He has won Clash of Kings 3 times here in the UK. He's been UK Master 3, 4 times. He's really, really good at this game, guy. I have played him once before. I played him at Adepticon, where we were in a Speed Kings of War tournament, and he rolled badly for 1 turn, and therefore, considering it was 1,000 points, I just took him off, and I won. Hooray! So I've beaten him before. We've got history. I can claim I'm better than him. I'm so not. Anyway, so he is playing his Northern Alliance, which is very fun, and this is called something all nude naked attack or something. It's something like that. And it's all berserkers. So he's thought he'd have fun and just create an all berserker list, apart from also Hurim, who's definitely not a berserker. Anyway, so it's got 2 regiments of half-elf berserkers who he has supercharged. One of them is Talinar's House Guard, meaning they have 25 attacks and they're dash 18, which is ridiculous for 220 points. They're basically better Soul Reavers, is what they are. Defense 3, I guess. And then one is Brew of Sharpness. The other one hits on 2s. So just ridiculously powerful hammers, all defense 3. 2 Pack Hunters with Javelins. Tundra Walls with the Staying Stone, very important. Forget about that, it doesn't come up. A horde of Frostclaw Riders with the obligatory Ice Bombs. He's given the Boots of Striding. He's also got another regiment of Frostclaw Riders down here in the formation. What do you get for being in the formation? Rallying 1 for half elves. Oh, okay, that's nice. 2 Snow Fox regiments. An Ice Queen who's got a bunch of stuff. Edge Periscope, Bane Charm, Veil of Shadows, and Host Shadow Beast. So exciting. I think Host Shadow Beast is to go with Orlaf, the Barbarian, or possibly Clarion. Anyway, Orlaf the Barbarian. So he's got a bunch of rules. 135 points is very cheap for what you get with him. 6 attacks, melee 3. He's defense 4, which is not so great for a character like that, but I mean, he's got Wild Charge, he's got Vicious, he's got Mighty, Crush 2. He's got an Aura of Slayer for infantry, which is going to go nowhere with my army. Oh, maybe it will. That's bad, isn't it? Half elves. And the Unstoppable Whirlwind attack that increases his attacks to 12 for 1 turn only. So pretty tasty for 135. He's good. Clarion, everyone takes because he gives Frozen to one thing near them. Whatever. He's got Dread, which is really good. And he's very inspired. 115 points. Look what you get. He's just gross. Northern Alliance are broken. Anyway, Hrim, who Tom insists is rubbish. I'm not convinced he's rubbish. He's dash 20, d6 plus any. He is very expensive. Okay. And he freezes people as well. It's just everything. Everything is good. And then more berserkers because why not? 2 regiments and 2 troops of half-elf berserkers. So they're all very good. Very, very hitty. Very, very fast. Very, very Tom list. So we are playing Pillage. Oh, I need to go back to the other thing. Here we are on the battlefield playing Pillage. You can see we've placed Pillage tokens upon the battlefield. So we have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Okay. We have 2 forests. There's a forest, there's a forest. There's a wall. 3 walls. Exciting. One of them's a hedge. 2 blocking terrain. 2, what it's called? Impassable. Height. I'm going to say height 9, maybe. 2 height 1 kind of lakes. Yeah. On a hill. And 2 hills. This is such a good hill. Look how well made this hill is. I'm so jealous. Anyway. So off we crack. There he is! The Northern King himself. What a legend. He's great. He is great. Tom used to be very, very intense. I used to watch him play and think, gosh, it would be intimidating to play against because he's so intense. It's fair to say he's relaxed in his old age. Not old age, whatever. He's young. But he's very chill now. Anyway, so he's really, really fun to play against, and I'm just really, really pleased to get to play him. And so this is how the battlefield's laid out. So I looked at this battlefield and I lost sides, and Tom took that side, I believe, because there was 4 tokens on that side, which seemed sensible. So what I figured I was going to do, I was going to get this one on the left, this chest here. I'm going to hold this one, and then we're going to fight over these 2. And I thought I could manage that, so I kind of denied flank on this side. I did put some... He put his tundra walls over here, so I put some scarecrows over here to make him think I was going to put things over there. He wasn't fooled by that at all, but he did put enough things. So these are 2 berserker troops and a snow fox. Both of the troops are berserkers. Actually, that's not true at all. I have lied to you, and I apologise wholeheartedly. It's 1 troop of berserkers, that's snow foxes, and these are tundra wolves. Okay, so actually relatively punchy, given that it's all chaff and 1 berserker troop. And I put Essenshire here, along with his with her host Shadowbeast caster to support. So I kind of hoped that the scarecrows could last out, and Essenshire plus her Shadowbeast could get rid of them. We'll see. We'll see. Everything else is denied flanker here, so I've got my 2 terrors together. I put down my worms first. As soon as I put down my worms, I realised I'd made a mistake. I think I put down the worms and a scarecrow horde, and I went, oh god, I really should have had the terrors on that side, here, to charge over this wall. By putting the worms here, I've doomed them to be hindered. I've got striding moves, I guess, but I really wanted the terrors to be over there, but it's too late by that point, so I committed over here. We've got our support characters, so we've got our little Mind Screech and Planar Apparition, both Phantoms here. The Soul Flayers and Reapers. The other Reapers are over there behind the other Scarecrow Horde. And I think I've got the other character over there as well. So, against that, so these, I mean, I can't remember which one's which, I'm not going to lie. So, these are the guys with javelins. They're the ones holding the javelins, obviously. And I don't know which of these 2 Berserker units is the hitting on 2s and which is the one that's got 25 attacks. It doesn't really matter. They both hit like a mother trucker. This is Hrim in the middle. This is Orlaf. There's the other Berserker regiment. There's the other Tundra Wolves. We have a regiment with Rally of these Frostclaw guys. And this is the Horde, obviously. And that is Clarion. Okay, with his frozen ability. So I looked at this and I thought, this isn't as bad as it could be. You know, so this battle will happen on this side. I don't care about these tokens. I just care about these 4. So I'm going to let that happen. What I want to do is push forward very hard on this side to secure this. Not let him jump over with his ravens. Hope that my stealthy does what it can do against the throwing. And then feed him units into the really hard stuff. And then follow up with the punch. Right? So feed him in snare and all that kind of stuff and see what we can do. So that's the plan. And then, so that's a nice shot of his army over there. And another one. And there's mine. Well, hey, there you can see. So you've got, I didn't have my character. I don't know where he is. So I have a Phantoms unit, Reapers, and Scarecrows against 1 horde of Ravens. Surely we'll be okay there. Who knows? Oh, there's the other character there, hiding down here to do Bane Chanting on these terrors. Maybe not. Don't need Bane Chant. Everything's defense 3. What's he there for? Oh, I think he's there to Alchemist Curse Hrim. That's his only function. Nothing else he can do is of any use in this game. Good job. So I win. I don't win first turn. I lose first turn. Tom gets first turn. Boo. That's bad against a player like Tom. His positioning is just always immaculate and done without thinking. So these guys come forward. They're going to start shooting me already. Here's Clarion. Then we have got Spear Chuckers, Berserker, Hrim. So Hrim's slightly pushed forward. You see how he's positioned everything. So even if I could get a charge, which I can't, they're out charge range. I can't get a clean charge with a Horde on any of these apart from the ones he wants me to. Which is just, you know, I don't think he even realised he was doing it. And over here, he's just pushed forward incredibly hard because why would you not go maximum distances and start threatening Scarecrows? And Olaf is just out there. He's just like, come on. Come on! Brilliant character. There's the Ice Queen. And that is Spears. Oh, that's Frosty Breath from the freaking Eagles, whatever they're called. Raven thingies. 7 wounds. 18 attacks on 5s. And you get 7 wounds. That's a good roll. Yeah, so that was bad. So they're pretty dead. So what I do is I send them into the Ravens. I'm like, I will hold you up with those. That's fine. I'm going to hold you up. You can't do anything about it. He can't fly directly over and land, I think. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I don't know. But I'm expecting to do a wound and hold them up. So come forward with the Scarecrow. So when I've held them up, he will kill me on the rebound, and then I can come in. Potentially. He could send Clarion into this horde to hold it up. That's probably what he would have done, and then these would have attacked with impunity. I suppose I could have then moved the Reapers back to provide a space where he couldn't fly through. Anyway, I then sacrificed the other, whatever they're called, freaking Phantoms. I think I didn't push hard enough with everything else. So these guys could only move 5. So by putting the Phantoms here, I'm kind of dooming myself that he can kill them with shooting and back away, so I can't charge him next turn. So that's probably not a great move. Don't think of anything else to do. So I move the Scarecrows out of the way. So what this does is the line of sight comes down here. No one can see them, so it gives me a turn's grace with these Scarecrows. Essenisha moves over because she's going to come. Anything that comes around, she's going to play with. I tip these guys into the woods so Olaf can see them, and then I turn. I really should have pushed harder with these Scarecrows, I think, and pushed forward a little bit further, but I didn't. I think I was intimidated by all the shooting. And 3 wounds from my Mind Screech. So the Mind Screech comes over here, and Lightning Bolts Clarion. Pretty good a roll, 3 wounds, but I couldn't get in a high enough roll to do anything to him. And then I Wind Blast Olaf. I'm like, no, I don't want you charging me, Olaf. And so the Soul Flayers Wind Blast him back again. It's turn 2. So these wolves then come round. It's really starting to get very nasty for these poor Scarecrows. They're going to get scrunched. I could just move backwards now. It wouldn't be scrunched anymore, but Essenisha is here too. You know, I just realised what I should have done. Anyway, it's not important. So, and there, as predicted, he moves everything back and leaves my Phantoms out to be shot by these guys from the hill and all the javelins, so they're going to die, and I'm going to be out of luck for that turn. So, Barkskin onto this Terror. Reason being, I can't get out of the charge range of these guys. They're very, 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 very fast. So I just Barkskinned him instead. Yeah, so, yeah, you'll notice there, where have the ravens gone? Have I killed them in a single go? No, children, I have not. In fact, I didn't do any wounds. I did not damage them because I thought Phantoms had 10 attacks. Turns out they have 12. I might well have rolled 12 misses, but I rolled 10 instead. So, I think I rolled 1 hit and that one didn't wound. So, yeah, I didn't hit them. Wap, wap, wap. And then Clarion freezes them. Yeah, and then just takes them off. So that was a throwing axes from Clarion. All the wounds going to these Phantoms, they're gone. So I've lost some chaff. Both chaffs. Yep, and the ravens come all the way back. And so I made another mistake, really. And you can't really go making mistakes in Tom Robinson. It's not good enough. He will just destroy you. I could have easily measured 20 here and had the Mind Screech a little bit further back to carry on Lightning Bolt and Clarion, but I didn't, and they were in 20, so the ravens just flew right over into my Mind Screech, which is bad. But then the Mind Screech didn't die. He was wavered, which is fantastic news. So very, very relieved about that, and allowing me maybe to come back from this mistake. We'll see how we go. This is what the battlefield looks like when it comes to my turn 2. So I do have free reign for the Scarecrows to come and have some fun. But I kind of think I need the Reapers around here. So the Reapers turn around and face the Ravens. It's not really what you want to do. You don't want to be spinning units around to face things. It's not fun. We back off the Mind Screech and we push forward. So having realised he's just going to keep backing up unless I push harder, everything goes forward a little bit further, so a little bit faster. So I send the Scarecrow unit up and I put the Soul Flayers up here. Kind of, I offer them the Soul Flayers because I've got both Terrors ready to come into infantry next turn. These guys are coming up in the rear. And over here, this is where I've realised I've made the wrong choice. And looking at it now, it seems obvious to me what I should do. It's not what I do. I think I was too worried about flank from them wolves. This is where I was, right? This is Eshenshari down the bottom, and I was worried because I was... Well, I've gone too far. I was worried that these wolves will come into the flank here, but they're going to be hindered into Barkskin. It's not going to do anything. Why was I so worried? Not quite sure. What I should have done is ignored these guys up here and instead backed up the Scarecrows 2.5, sent Essenshire into these wolves down here, because then I could have got a host Shadow Beast off. Instead, I sent Essenshire into these foxes, which means she can get eaten by Berserkers next turn, and I turn the Scarecrows to get eaten by wolves. So not a great choice there by me, I'm going to say. But, you know, I know what I should do now. Now I'm in the past. And I kill them, so Essenshire kills these wolves, and then she overruns to face the Berserkers next turn. Got a Shadow Beast off. Oh, that's right, charge Clarion with the Soul Flayers. 5 wounds on Clarion. Not bad for Soul Flayers. They're going to get killed, but, you know, hey, not bad. Turn 3 for Tom, so this is how he looks. So that's where I am with Olaf. Yeah. These guys are free to fly, but they can only see my Mind Screech. And if they eat my Mind Screech, they're going to get eaten. So what does he do with them? So those 2 charges happen. He sends Hrim and one of the Berserkers into the Scarecrows. Yep, so this Berserker, I think these are maybe the hit on 2s ones, don't know. And then these are the Javelin guys, and these Berserkers into my Soul Flayers. And Olaf decides to not play with them and instead just comes around the corner to attack this this Terror. Right, these guys are on a hill to throw javelins at whatever they can. They can't see anything though, because he's sent his other wolves, the foxes that were here, down this tiny gap into my worms to hold them up. He takes the ravens and just kind of, he turns once and goes 20 because they're nimble, and he can. And by putting them down in this corner, I'm not that worried about it. He has, silly really, I should have measured it, but I put these guys here deliberately to fend off against them landing here. I didn't quite place them properly. You can see, I can't quite see enough of the ravens for these guys to charge in. So a slight turn would have been much better, and he would have had to do something drastic. So that's not great. So Scarecrows move up. Clarion's just there, just kind of throwing axes at them. Yep, Scarecrows don't last, so these Tundra Wolves absolutely wreck them. Wreck them! 7 wounds takes them off. Rolls the requisite 7. Maybe even just once. Take them off, so that means I've lost that token over there. Boom. Even worse, Essenishra doesn't survive from a single round of attacks by the Berserkers. Dash 14. I mean, it's, what, is it 15 attacks or something? It's not infeasible. I think it was a 6 twice on average. Anyway, doesn't do it. She carks it. So I've lost the entire right flank. There's a wound on them. Doesn't really matter. Obviously, the Soul Flayers die. There was some clever positioning there. See the Ice Queen where she is? That was to mean these Berserkers could come in unhindered instead of coming in off this pond. Anyway, 6 wounds from the old Olaf there onto my something to regen, isn't it, next turn? Yep, and the Scarecrows die in the middle. So obviously Hiram and the other Berserkers mince them. So bad. It's not going very well. So the whole middle is just gone. It's just gone. I spent a turn throwing away chaff when I probably didn't need to. The flying chaff, I should have pushed forward harder with worms and the Scarecrows in the first turn, but it is what it is. Yep, there we are. So my turn 3. So these Scarecrows come around the corner. We chase down these ravens, and I do an excellent move. I'm really proud of it. So this horror here charges their flank because he is an individual, and he's going to get host shadow beasted by his friend. Let's see what we can do. We push these guys up really to offer them up, to say you want to charge them, charge away. It's something I don't care about. One terror goes in here. This terror goes back into Olaf. We go back into the wolves here. I've got my planar apparition here, healing over this side. See what we can do. Oh, there's a sideways. That's showing the horror. Yep. Unfortunately, the terror doesn't like into berserkers, even with 20 attacks. He does 8 wounds. With these terrors, they need to go in pairs. They really do. Couldn't do that because he had an Olaf into me. I do kill Olaf. He deserved to die. And now it's deciding what do you want to charge? You want to charge? You can charge these guys, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Charge what you want. Charge one of these three, and then the other one's going to charge you, maybe. And there's some other stuff in the back there, so I don't know. So he does. In fact, he just chooses one each. So this troop of berserkers come into this flank after everything else. So Hrim comes into this terror. Hold him off. Not going to do anything there whatsoever the rest of the game. These guys come into the Reapers because they're actually very scary. And the worms are going to struggle against this. And then these berserkers are free to come into the flank of my terror along with the rear from the wolves. They're all the way over there. So he is not going to live. And then these javelin dudes decide not to throw. They were going to throw things. They thought, sod you. They're coming in here. So he's basically just engaged my entire front with something. Well, I did 3 wounds, by the way, with my host Shadow Beast. Legend! So he stopped them flying, so they can only countercharge him. He's great. And then he's just coming here, so I can't charge him, so there's no room for me to charge. That is 2 wounds from something. I think with these guys shooting them, 2 wounds onto them, and wavers them. Man, that's bad luck. Arrgh, that's infuriating. Anyway, here's what it is. 4 wounds. The Ravens absolutely suck. Absolutely suck. Against my beautiful little Ronnie the Bard horror there. He's 4 wounds and he's still standing strong. Yeah, less so with the old terror there. He's very good. And everything turns around. This terror is doing fine against Hrim. Unfortunately, it's about to get eaten. That troop dies to those berserkers. Not very surprising though. And 2 wounds on these worms, but they're okay. So we're running short on stuff. Can I still win? No. Can I still win? Absolutely not. So maybe. So I've got this horde over here who can take this token at the top. Then my Mind Screech can fly over and get this token over here. The Planar Apparition can take this token here. And then I just need my worms to contest this token here. And then I win. Because he's not going to get this one. Oh, he is going to get that one with this one. He's going to get that one with this one. And that one get into this one, right? So that will be a draw, actually. But I didn't realise. So these, I thought these javelin guys were going to come in. He actually turned them around next turn to go and get that one, which disappointed me. They're going to come over here. They're going to come down here. So I need to kill the ravens, kill these guys, and overrun, and then survive 2 turns against all these berserkers. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. Anyway, so move up here. He's been healed by the Planar Apparition. 2 more wounds. Absolute legend. Keeping going. With his host Shadow Beasting. Yeah, the terror. I mean, Hrim's just. Yeah, he's defense 5. So we're going to die. We're going to die. We do, however, kill these guys with the worms, which is very, 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 very delightful. There we go. So now we are in a front and a front. So you can have a go. You're going to be hindered because there's a wall there. Let's see what you can do. Turn 5. So yeah, there's some munching. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, 2 tokens claimed there. So they're not going to be hindered because, of course, Tom's a better player than that. Clarion runs off the wall from here all the way down to here. Maximum of his of speed 1,000,000 that he probably is because it's Northern Alliance, which allows these berserkers to come in unhindered. And he sends the ravens in as well because, you know, why not? They are on a hurt to those worms. And everything's eating me there. These guys are still trying to eat my horror. Never going to happen. Yep, Terror carks it. That's bad. Oh no, the horror carks it too. He did so well. And then the worms die as well. So, at this point, guys, look, I'm not saying it's impossible. but there's a lot of Northern Alliance left on the battlefield there. Yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot. So here was my plan. These guys were going to move up to the hill to claim this token. The Planar Apparition is going to fly over here. The Mind Screech is going to fly over here. We're charging these, whatever they're called, Reapers into the birds to kill them. And then I just need to, everything will be shielded by the hill against these guys so they can't hurt me. And I can get 1, 2, 3 and I don't have a plan for anything else. So I can get 3. 3 seems really great at this point. He's turned these guys around to go and get this token. I missed that. In my head, I was like, I'm going to get a win or a draw because he's never going to get that one at the back. No, he totally is. He's really good. So to try and stop them, I send the other horror into the rear of these guys. This was part 1 of what needed to happen for me to win. It wasn't these Reapers. The Reapers, that's right. The Reapers came over here to hold off these Berserkers across this lake, right? If I can hold them off, then I've got a chance because everything else is going to be shielded. And he needs to kill them in a single turn with his Host Shadow Beast. These guys come in here. These guys come and hide so you can see, so no one can see them. We're going to go over and claim this one next turn, or at least contest it against his regiment. Yeah. I don't know. That'll stay. So we claim this one. I measured it, couldn't quite claim both. Shame. Shame not orcs, isn't it? That's my Host Shadow Beast roll. How disappointing. How disappointing. Part 1 of my plan, Host Shadow Beast. I was totally going to do it, and I didn't do it. In fact, the Ravens didn't die, and I think I missed my 1 attack, so poop. However, the Reapers did kill off those Berserkers, which I felt very smug about. That was very nice. Into Tom's turn, 6. So, yeah, this is what it looks like. I think I kind of had fantasies these Reapers were somehow going to come up and claim this token. But no. Instead, Troop of Berserkers comes right into them. Hrim wanders off and claims this token. The Eagles coming to the rear of my Mind Screech. Into my Planar Apparition. Shouldn't have happened because they should be dead. No, should. Very strong word, should in this case. Clarion decides to have a fight with these guys. Alright, calm down. Yeah. So. That's all the tokens over there. Yeah, they die. Reapers are dead. Wound there, they're okay. He's very dead. And overruns. So on my turn, Mind Screech comes over and claims this. Claim this token with these guys. Nothing else I can do. I do waver them though. That's the Mind Screech. Yeah, I go over a turnaround and I waver them. Pow! I was like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to finally get you, Ravens. Nope. No, you're not. You're going to waver them. 2 wounds from that, and I couldn't quite get him off. He's still having a go. he's like, I'm going to get you. This time. He does some wounds, but not enough, and they're fine. And there we go, full frontal nudity, that's what it's called. And that was the end of the game. So yeah, a 4-2 defeat. I think I did all right. Not pushing hard enough at the beginning was probably my first mistake. He not allowing him, giving him the grace to shoot off some fast units by stepping back. I think, my initial positioning of terrors in the wrong place really put me in a bad position because the worm's going to struggle over this wall and they weren't going to be able to get fast enough forward. If I had my terrors here, the worms could have gone with impunity. They would have got shot, but everything else would be coming up fast behind them. So, yeah, that was my learning from that. Everything else, remembering that my units actually had 12 attacks would have been better as well. So that these ravens would be flapping around the backs of my lines the entire time. They would have been being eaten by things. But, it is what it is. These things happen. And like I say, he would have just fed Clarion to them anyway, and I would have to do some shenanigans in the backfield to stop things being charged. So it can happen. It can happen. It's one of those things. It was a great game. It was a great game against a really, the strongest opponent I've ever played. I would say that, not necessarily amongst the strongest. Definitely one of the top 2 strongest players that I've played face to face. But fantastic guy. I really, really like Tom. And I wish I could play him more, but he lives freaking miles away. So that's the end of my tournament report. Oh, I have got some armies somewhere. Let's see if I can find them. Here we are. Some army pictures. I don't know whose anyone's army is, but they're really nice. I love this Empire of Dust. They've got a really cool, like these waves in the sand kind of motif on the bases. Really nice, really beautiful paint job. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I wish the Idol of Shobit was bigger. Just saying. All right. Who is this? This is I know it's Green Lady, and I can't remember whose it is. I think it was a newer player one. Actually, no, I'm not sure. But anyway, again, really nice. Look how nice it is. It's this giant resin base with Nyans in it. Very cool. Even though I hate Green Lady because they're too strong. I said, oh, look, it's my army. It looks nice, isn't it? I was pleased. I won Best Painted, by the way. But this event was so cursed that all the trophies melted. And you think I'm joking? I'm not. The spray paint they used on their 3D printed trophies melted them. And so no one got any trophies. Maybe I'll do an Andy Ransom and make my own trophy, or not. But it was very nice to get best painted with this army, which I am proud of. I painted it very quickly in 3 weeks, but I think it looks very cool. Up close, you're like, oh, this isn't very well painted at all. But from tabletop, I think it looks really pretty. So I'm proud of it, and you have to say it's nice. Here we have the Ogre army that I played, Andrew's army, really, really cool. Again, really, really lovely. Love that. You've seen a lot of it there. Northern Alliance. Who's this Northern Alliance? This is a different Northern Alliance. Oh, this is a newer player. This is Kieran's army, isn't it? Yeah, he's a fan of the show, apparently, or something. Anyway, I think he learned to play using the video, so he was really, really, really kind to me. And I got to play a little game of Ambush with him that evening. We really had a good time. And I won because he can't roll nerve. That was really fun. Really, really nice army. I loved what he'd done to the Ravens. And his Giant, which you can't quite see over here, which is a shame, is very, very cool. It's a different mini, but it's really, really lovely textures on it. So really great job. These are Berserker Dwarves. All Berserker Dwarves, which I thought was really fun. This is Tom's army that you've just seen loads of. Really nice, I've got to say. Tom used to phone it in with his armies, or at least with the zombie army he did. But this, he spent a lot of time and effort on that. I think they're very, very pretty. Don't understand why he's using movement trays though. Still don't understand. What's the point? Anyway. This was a cool army, isn't it? Forces of Nature, I'm going to say. My favourite thing about this army is the way they've done their Forest Shamblers. Because Forest Shamblers are kind of hard to make look cool, but they've done this kind of really burnt wood with glowing faces and hands over here as well. See, what a cool idea, and it's matched to this Earth Elemental. This kind of green flame motif goes through the whole army. So fantastic army, really fantastic army. And then we have, this is Simon's Necrons. Simon knows that this is naughty and he loves it. These are Necrons that he's running as Empire of Dust. And good times have by all. And he was my doubles partner the next day when we had a Necron and Night Stalker army that performed hysterically badly. He's just so poor. We kept facing Defense 6 dwarves and we forgot to bring any crushing beyond his Enslaved Guardians that we never got in. So we suck. Maybe I suck. There you go. So I had a really good time. It's such a shame that we had so many dropouts at the event because it really was as well run as they always are in Northern. Northern Kings GT, 2-day singles tournament is already on the card. So if you can get along to it, I just thoroughly recommend you do. I think it's one of the best. I think it is the best non-Clash of Kings event in the calendar, hands down. It's just so well run, so slick, so smooth, lovely people, cheap place to stay, good drinks on site all the time if you like that sort of thing, food provided. Cannot speak more highly of the event. Love it. Oh, I forgot to say where I came. I came fourth, which isn't bad. I mean, it was out 12, but I came fourth. It was my second fourth in a row with Night Stalkers. Top was Filthy Elves. And then I think there was some Filthy Dwarves after that, and then there was Tom. I think it was Tom second? Tom might have been second. Tom was second. Anyway, it's not important. I was fourth. I came fourth. Yay for me. So best painted and fourth place. Not bad. Yeah. I think what would I change about the list? I think I need more fast individuals, right? So I think what I have done is I've dropped one of the Terrors, which is probably a mistake. I've changed the Reapers into Tormentors. I've added another shade to go along with Essen-Ishra. Oh, I know what I've done. I've dropped the Worms, and I've added 2 hordes of Butchers instead, because I lack Crushing, and added another Mind Screech, a shooty Mind Screech. I have 2 Mind Screeches that shoot, double Butchers instead of Worms. 1 less Terror, Tormentors, and an extra Shade. Yeah, I think that's it, something like that. Anyway, I'll play it again at some point, you can see. But I've tried to construct kind of an anti-shooting, because that's why I really struggle. Ironically, given that I'm Night Stalkers, I struggle with shooting, because I don't have enough tools to deal with it. All my little fast fly things are very easily shottable off, which means that I then struggle and wander up with everything else and get eaten alive with this stuff. So more fast flying, jumpy, kind of tricksy stuff is kind of where I'm going at with it. I think I keep Essen-Ishra just because I think, yeah, it's cool. I would like to get hold of the official model at some point. I don't know how I'm going to do that. comes with like a pack of them, isn't it, or in an army or something, and I'm like, ugh. I already have, as you can see, a lot of Night Stalkers, and I have way more Scarecrows to paint to add to these bases, because they're still a bit sparse. And at some point I will do that. Right. So yeah, that's the end of my tournament report. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time in Death by Dragons. Toodle pip!